All right, hello and welcome to another edition of the Rithmm Rundown, presented by, of course, Rithmm. I am Josh Applebaum with my co-host, as always, my partner in crime, Mr. Cade Harper. Cade, you and I were joking a little bit. You said, "Are you going to the game tonight?" No, I am not in Foxborough. I'm coming from my hometown studio here, so I'm a little bit north, Cade. I was trying to explain to you the geography of Massachusetts a little bit. We're kind of a small state, but if you think about kind of south of Boston. By the way, Cape Cod, best place to go in the summer. It's hyped up, but it's legit. Cade, you got to go one time in your life. But Foxborough is a little bit south of Boston. I'm north of Boston, so I'm like kind of like right below Nashville, New Hampshire. So again, not too far away. But Cade, unfortunately, you gave us great luck, or I should say, fortunately, you gave us some great luck a few weeks ago when you were going to the Bengals game. We had the points. Bengals won that thing outright. That was nice to see. But I won't be repaying the favor. But I am going to give you guys a disgusting play. You're going to puke in your mouth. It looks terrible. But what do we like to do, Cade? Play numbers, not teams, focusing on what the market is telling us, but more importantly, what Rithmm is telling us. So we got Patriots, Jets tonight. Got a really good angle here with a discrepancy play between what Rithmm is predicting versus what the betting market is offering. Maybe Cade will fade some of these pass catchers for the Patriots because Rithmm has a lot of unders here lighting up on some of these guys. So we're going to kind of walk through those. And then a theme for me, and I want to throw these games at you like we always do, Cade, divisional dogs. As I'm going through a lot of the games this weekend, there's a ton of divisional matchups, and Rithmm has a lot of Green Star recommended plays on these divisional dogs. I'll give you an angle here. We'll talk about it further with the Jets, but when you're betting football, I think there's a big obvious thing you want to look at first. Is it a divisional game or not? Are they two teams from the same division? Because since 2019, pretty big sample size here, Cade, divisional dogs are covering 53.3% of the time. That's actually generating a nearly 3% ROI. Remember, 52.38% is your break-even point. If you're a dog in a non-division game, playing a team outside your division, you're only covering 50.5% of the time. You're actually minus 3% ROI. So that divisional angle of knowing your opponent, the familiarity, knowing the scheme, the opposing stadium, the coaching staff, all that, it really levels the playing field, benefits the team getting points. So I got a lot of games I want to talk about. Texans, Titans, Panthers, Falcons, Bengals, Steelers, Chiefs, Broncos, and then some college games I want to hit on with you, Cade. Penn State, Michigan State, Arizona, Cincinnati, UNC, Wake. Are we finally going to turn the page and bet on Belichick, not against Belichick? I'll throw that out to everybody here. But my guy, Cade, how you doing, buddy? How's your week going? And are you excited for the slate? How's life treating you?
Dude, we're back to square one with doing another Rithmm Rundown show, and I want to toot my horn and say that we've had probably the best week or the best month, like probably ever. I don't know. We're out to a unbelievable college basketball start right now, and then we had a really good college football weekend on top of that. And then on top of that, NFL Sunday came and we had a 10-unit weekend, and I was just like, holy crap. And then I looked at the last month and I was just like, all right, we're gonna be cool, calm, and collect and just say we're having a good month on the show. Keep calm. We're doing fine. We'll just keep the train rolling. So not gonna go too outlandish, but yeah, vibes are high and I'm feeling good, having a really good week. So keep it rolling.
We'll keep it going, my man. Yeah, you know me. I'm a superstitious person. You probably are too, Cade. All bettors have their superstitions, but for me, it's like, again, you walked a great line there by like being pumped and being proud of your accomplishments, but not tempting the betting gods, and then they'll hit you up with a minus 10-unit month or something like that. So
Cool, calm, and
of
collected
course,
here. Yeah.
exactly, and you're just grinding. I think that's the biggest thing when you're a sports bettor. You got to be a grinder, because if you are the type of person that expects winning days every day, thinks it's going to be easy, there's going to be these, rocking chair winners left and right. That's really not how it goes. Betting is going to drive you nuts. It's also going to give you the highest of highs. So you just got to kind of ride the wave, not get too high or too low, keep grinding your model, sticking with what works. Again, things that aren't working, maybe you dial back a bit. So you mentioned it, Cade. And of course, this is a live stream focused on the NFL and college, but we do have college football, or college basketball, I should say, that just returned. So if you are a college basketball bettor, there's a lot of games pretty much every single night you can choose from. We got the Rithmm system matches lit up. So that's another sport where if, let's say, your NFL isn't going as well as you want it to, maybe you dial it back a bit. You focus more on college basketball. I'm the type of bettor, Cade, like, I want to be great at everything. I know all bettors want to be great at everything. But if you can pick your spots and figure out, hey, like I admit I'm not a golf bettor. I may never be a golf bettor. but I'm not going to force it. I'm going to focus on the sports that hopefully turn a profit here. So the fact that college basketball is back, that's really music to our ears because we love sweating college hoops and we have these great rhythm system plays. Of course, before we dive in, just want to remind everyone all the different features and upgrades available at Rithmm. We're going to get to these game breakdown pages, which have been revamped and they look great. And if you just want to go straight to the recommended plays for each game, you can find them quickly. But as always, want to tell people to join the leaderboard contests. Every week we're giving out cash, some hard cold earned cash here, Cade. $1,000, 600, 400 to the top 3 contest produced plays here, and you'll get that money, which is awesome. So you got nothing to lose. You should definitely enter the contest here. And then also you're going to get a lot of opportunities to, focus on different sports. You can also refer a friend. There's also the Discord channel. So all this is available to you when you download Rithmm. And of course, if you're kind enough, please give Rithmm a 5-star review in the App Store. And remember, Start 25 is going to give you 25% off to start and get yourself acclimated to Rithmm. But Cade, enough of me rambling. Let's get to the game tonight. Patriots, Jets. Now, as I like to do, let's talk about a market-based approach, what has happened in the betting market. Then we'll kind of combine that with what Rithmm is kind of telling us or recommending for us to do. So for me, Cade, this is kind of a big line move play. So on the one hand, line has clearly gone up toward New England. Patriots are riding high. They're 8-2. Jets 2-7. Although the Jets have won 2 straight. They sold off Quinnen Williams, Sauce Gardner. There's a mindset here of Patriots are great. Lay the big number. Don't even think about it. Fade the Jets, who have struggled and are in tank mode, basically. However, what has the betting market done? Well, it has moved quickly here toward New England. The Patriots opened this game as low as -10.5. We've gotten bet up all the way to 13, even 13.5. What I always think about, Kate, is when you see a big line move, does it go, and never come back? Or is there a point where it hits a high water mark and starts to creep back the other way? So in this case, it looks like it's coming back to the Jets a little bit because we got as high as Jets -13, -13.5. Now we're starting to see these books kind of creep back down to 12.5. So maybe the point of resistance, that high water mark, was around 13 or 13.5. Now, if you look at the splits, they look pretty decent on the Jets. 42% of tickets, 50% of the money at DraftKings taking the points with the Jets. You look at Circa out in Vegas, 52% of bets, 79% of dollars. Then we get into these system matches. Primetime dogs have done well. They're 18-13 against the spread this year, 58%. If you are a big primetime dog getting 6.5 or more, you're 7-3 against the spread this year. If you're getting 12 or more, doesn't happen often, Cade, but since 2020, those teams are 8-3 against the spread, 73%. Inflated dogs, you're getting at least 2 points off the opener. Jets open 10.5. Now you're up to 12.5, 13. Those teams this year are 53% against the spread. If they're getting 7 or more, they're 58% against the spread. I gave you that stat earlier. Divisional dogs, built-in familiarity, typically levels the playing field. The other angle for me, Cade, is a low total game. When you're a big dog getting nearly 2 touchdowns and a low total game of around 43.5, 43, typically that's a good sign for that dog because if this was a high total of 50 or more, hey, a lot of points, easier for the Pats to cover. Lower total, maybe fewer points, harder for the Pats to cover this big number. So you add it all up, in my philosophy, I'm a Patriots fan, fully admit, but I learned a long time ago, don't play your team just because you love them. I'm taking the points with the Jets. I got 13.5 earlier. I think if you're playing Patriots, you're getting the worst of it. If you're playing Jets, you're getting the best of the number. All those system matches I gave you. But really what sent me over the edge, Cade, is when I looked up what Rithmm is predicting for this game. So if we go to the predictions, we change our sport back to the NFL, Rithmm is kind of saying, hey, hold your nose, take the Jets here. So if we go to our calendar with our revamped page, we have 3 system plays here, and they're all saying to take the Jets in the points. So the first one has Jets plus 8.2. That's your Rithmm house model. I have another model. My Josh 2 model says Jets plus 7.7. And my third model, the one that I'm most excited about because it's a Green Star recommended play, Jets plus 7.9. So if you let your bias get into this game, you're saying, hey, Patriots, Drake May are playing great. They're going to roll. But let's try to stick to the numbers. You got a lot of system matches. Lines coming back to the Jets. Good bet splits here on the Jets. And Rithmm is saying this should be more of a 7-8 point game. So I'm going to follow this gross but trustworthy model here with Rithmm. I'm taking the Jets and the points here. Let's see what the best number, Cade. A lot of those 13 and a halves, I don't know if the hook is available anymore. I guess DraftKings is still offering it pretty juiced up. We got a lot of 13, some 12 and a halves. You can still get that 13 and a half. I'm holding my nose and going Jets here. So I'll give you the floor here, Cade. Give me your breakdown of this game from a side perspective. Do you have a play? Do you have a lean? What are you doing on Thursday night?
I wanted to do it so bad. I really did. I don't have a play and a side, but I will say in terms of a lean, same ankles, really big spread yet again on a Thursday night game. I don't know how many of these like touchdown plus favorites we've seen on Thursday nights. It's actually historically insane this year. I don't know how many we've had. But yeah, I came to a point where I legit almost thought about the Patriots, but it's some of this stuff just feels like it's just too. I don't want to have a play, just have a play in these sides. That's what I hate because and I don't like forcing. I do somewhat lean towards the Jets if I had to. It is a very high number in a divisional game. We've always talked about this. It's just with injury concerns piling up on the Jets, the additions that they've lost, they only have one real offensive weapon right now. And I feel like Pats are going to be really ready for that mainly. I'm not going to say Patriots win big because they're debuting these cool new uniforms tonight. Like you know what I mean? That's just like, I don't have any angle whatsoever in terms of any spread. If the model says that it's got it closer to a touchdown, which would make sense in a divisional game, I would say trust the model in this case personally, but didn't really look into a side here personally. I was more in terms of on the total side of it, but
well, yeah, let's get to the total here because another interesting opportunity. If you don't love the side, you got totals. We got prop bets we're going to get to here in a second. And you made a really good point. Like a lot of bettors, they're just like, oh, it's Thursday night, Monday night. I got to play it. So don't force it just because it's on TV or you got nothing else better to do or you're going out with your friends or whatever. Like, again, that's kind of the cardinal sin when it comes to betting. You want to bet a game because you feel like and not feeling from a bias perspective, but from a data-driven perspective, you feel like you did enough homework, legwork to identify an edge that made you confident to risk your hard-earned money. Like if you're just saying it's Thursday night, again, these uniforms, Kate, I'll tell you, I'm in New England. I'm outside of Boston. Everyone loves these unis. Like they're okay. I don't really see the fascination with them. They're decent. Anyway, don't just bet it because you're a Pats fan, you're in New England, Pats are rolling, and you like the uniforms. Like that's the worst thing you can do. Now, they may very well roll in this game. Patriots can cover the number. But if you make that kind of bet based on like factors that don't really come into play, long term, that's going to be a big loser for you. So Again, don't force it. I'm rolling with the Rithmm model here because it kind of aligns with my philosophy, and we have seen a lot of these gross dogs recently do very well. Remember the Cardinals game a few weeks ago? Again, we've seen some of these dogs perform well in this spot. Let's go talk about the total here because you were mentioning you had some thoughts on the total. Now, the total is interesting to me because the betting market and Rithmm seem to be kind of in conflict here because we have seen this total drop a bit. Like a lot of books open this total as high as 46.5, 45.5. We've now gotten down to 43.5, 43. So from a market perspective, looks like it's falling, or that's not really debatable. It has fallen since the opener. The tickets look pretty sharp on the under, 50% bets, 63% dollars at DK. At Circa, only 25% bets, but over 70% of the dollars are on the under. Primetime unders, 56% this year. Kate, I know you like this one. Outdoor divisional unders. That's been a pretty good grinder system over the years, 55% so far this season. Both these teams are a little bit slower in terms of pace of play. And again, you might have both teams that want to run the ball, which might chew up the clock. So that's all telling you we're leaning under. I can tell you too, the weather really doesn't look too bad. It's gotten a little bit colder here, but it's going to be like, 40-ish. Really nothing in the way of precipitation or wind or anything, like mild 5-mile-per-hour winds. So I'm kind of leaning under in this spot, but I don't want to go against Rithmm here. I have two models here telling me to take the over. The first model says we should have around 45.5 points combined in this game, which is going to cash your over 43.5. I have another Josh model, 46.4. Now, my third model is kind of in conflict. That's saying going under 42.1. So this is one of those lay off for me, Cades, because again, primetime under, outdoor divisional under, total is dropped, good splits. I'm thinking under here, but Rithmm is saying not so fast. We might cash this over, and it is a low total. So I'll throw it to you, man. What's your take on this total? What are you doing, over or under, for Pats and Jets?
I'll give the benefit of the doubt and actually give a better angle for a lean, I guess, considering I did do a lot of reading, and I did a lot of reading on both sides because, like I said, I mean, the Patriots, you can argue they are probably the hottest team in football right now. I mean, 7 straight wins. It's hard to fade them, and I understand completely. Jets, they look like a dumpster fire after getting rid of pretty much their entire good people on their roster, it feels like. I get it. It makes sense. However, you have 2 very, very good run offenses / run defenses in this case. And even despite the departures, you lost Gardner, you lost Quinn and Williams, and Quincy Williams, who I believe just lost his starting job from what I've read against Underdog I think it was just within the last week. With all that being, I mean, it's going to come down to the run game, regardless of who has it. I mean, the Jets, you run the 6th most in the league. You allow the 4th most runs on average. And Drake May, phenomenal, star-studded QB, right? But, I mean, even then, they're ranked 1 spot behind in run play rate. So they still like to run the ball. That is Vrabel's game. He's not this air raid Mike Leach kind of guy. He's an old-fashioned ground and pound coach. So they've both done enough against the run, and it should be enough to call the line a bit steep. But with how common these 2 teams run the ball, I'm expecting some clock to be taken out. So I'm not taking a full game total. I'm looking into the first half under. So slower start. I already projected the Patriots closer to 10. But again, and I know it feels high, I can't get behind the not as bad as people think narrative. When I was reading an article earlier today, that was one of the things that I read, and you guys might know him. He's one of the better NFL bettors that I know personally. His name's Sean Corner, and he's phenomenal. And he was saying that all these narratives that come around with these big numbers, it's not as bad as people think, or the value, it's thin. And it's not necessarily on a key number enough for me personally, so that's why I kind of lean towards the total in the first place. But overall, again, they're coming off of a big win. It's, again, slightly short week, could start slow. You expect the Jets to be run heavy, I would hope. I don't know why in the world they would throw the ball now after giving up Mitchell and then all of a sudden putting Garrett Wilson on the IR. Doesn't really much sense to me. And ultimately, I mean, that fits the strength of Patriots defense. They're very good against the run, as I was just saying. And again, just take the clock out of the game immediately. So, I mean, I expect a slower half. Rithmm thinks it's going full game. I'll take the other angle and say it's going to be half of the game. So I can root for one half. We just can't root for 2. So slightly with, slightly against in a way, kind of butt heads. I mean, I leaned full game under, like you were saying. At that point, it is a stay away, but I found the better angle to be in the first half personally.
Yeah, that makes total sense. Again, you can look toward these derivatives, quarters, halves. If you feel more confident and you have the game script in your head, hey, it may play out this way, so therefore I'm going to focus on this versus that. Totally available to you guys as a better. So again, just to be clear, Rithmm looking at the Jets and the points, Rithmm looking toward the over. So these are the recommended models here for tonight. Now let's talk about some player props here, Cade, because there's kind of a lot of interesting things going on with this game in terms of injuries. Now you mentioned it. Garrett Wilson out, obviously, for the Jets, star wide receiver. Patriots have some injuries too, though. Ramondre Stevenson is out, top running back. Kayshon Boutte is out. Austin Hooper is out. So that's really some of your starters here. I know Hooper is kind of a backup, but Boutte's a starter. Stevenson, obviously, is a starter. So that makes us have a smaller pool of players to kind of look toward. The other thing you got to remember is looking toward these Thursday night games, primetime games, public is always going to want to hammer these overs. If they're going to sit down, watch this game, it's just a psychological thing where I'm more inclined to want to root for something positive, to root for a lot of action. Again, we always talk about it, but that creates an opportunity to go the other way, root for some unders. Remember, the odds makers know this. They're going to inflate some of these star players toward the over. Therefore, even though it's not sexy, it's not fun, again, but what's really fun is if you cash your ticket. So I think that's something you always want to look toward. And I feel like we've done a pretty good job highlighting a lot of these unders when it comes to these primetime games. And again, if you follow Rithmm on Twitter, social media, TikTok, Instagram, I see a lot of these unders cashing, like, Victor Wembanyama under points, rebounds, assists, Steph Curry under threes, even though this is what the public wants to root for and plays. Typically across multiple sports, you're going to see actually the other kind of thing come true, which is fading a lot of these guys and hoping that they go under because the data backs it up. So for this game here, we do have some recommended plays, some smart signals, and I want to focus on some of these Patriots guys actually to go toward their under. So one of a few that jumped out to me here, Cade. One was Matt Collins. Matt Collins had a huge game last week against the Tampa Bay Bucks, had over 100 receiving yards. But let's think about if this is a lower scoring game. Obviously, the total has fallen. It's a divisional spot. Is this an opportunity to fade Matt Collins? Even though he busted out and had a great game last week, his over-under in the market right now is 40.5. Now, after a guy drops 100 on you, that seems like nothing. He could get a 42-yard catch and boom, hit this over with one fell swoop. But let's see what Rhythm is predicting here. They're actually thinking it's an opportunity to fade Matt Collins. He's predicted right now 27.1 receiving yards. That's about a 13-yard gap between the betting market and what Rhythm is predicting here. The other player that we're looking at is Kyle Williams. Now, I can tell you, Cade, from being a Patriots fan, being around this neck of the woods, Patriots have struggled for so long with these wide receiver draft picks. N'Keal Harry, I mean, the list goes on and on. Kyle Williams was a guy that got in the third round from Washington State. He really hasn't done much all year, but he did bust out last week for a huge play. It was only one catch, 71 yards, though, took it to the house. Kyle Williams might get some playing time tonight because Kayshon Boutte is injured, but do we fade a guy after he kind of burst on the scene and had a huge play? He's predicted across the market 18.5 receiving yards. Now, it's not a huge edge. Rhythm's predicting you cash it with the skin of your teeth, around 17 yards. That is a recommended green star play with Hollins and with Kyle Williams both going toward their under. And then the other one, Cade, and I'll get your thoughts on this one. Jeremy Ruckert, a guy who no one's talking about, backup tight end. Can he get you a 5-yard catch tonight? Obviously, the Patriots are going to key on the run, key on Breece Hall. That's a very low number, over 4.5 in the market. Rhythm's predicting 15 receiving yards. So, Kate, I'll throw it to you. Any of these jump out to you? Any other prop bets here for tonight you're going to target? And in general, should we target unders because it's a divisional game and it's a low total?
I like finding the value in short totals like these on some of the unders. I typically won't play some of the props unless if it's a crazy big discrepancy like Ruckert's number. I mean, I have him at 8, and if Rhythm's saying 15, double fist bump. You know what I mean? We're golden there. Let's do it. Why not? Yeah, I could see it. I liked Breece's under receiving yards. I think they kind of shut that kind of aspect down because it's just so mind blowing. Like, genuinely, who are they going to use tonight? I don't know. So if they can find Ruckert for at least 5, at least more than 15, so be it. Let's do it. Why not? But yeah, I like the bigger discrepancies on some of these props more, playing them rather than the ones that are like a point, or not a point, but a yard or two off.
Yeah, great point by you. I'm right there with you. The other one I'll throw at you is Justin Fields. I mean, let's think about how the Patriots and Vrabel and are going to attack, Justin Fields, because Fields, we have a green star lit up play here on Justin Fields to go under his rushing attempts. Now, we all know Justin Fields going since his Ohio State days. The guy's a great athlete. He can get out there, bootleg. I mean, he can run the ball. He's really got some great legs here. But I think if you're the Patriots, do you want Justin Fields to start running around? Do you want him to make plays on the ground? No, you want to turn him into a passer. That would be my thought here, because you're down Garrett Wilson. Again, who are they going to throw to? What kind of wide receivers, tight ends are they going to throw to? I think if you're the defense of the Patriots, you want to keep Justin Fields in the pocket, make him a passer tonight, because he's struggled all year. He's down a bunch of guys. Again, does that mean you have 2 high safeties and you force him to run the ball? which would play to obviously the under in a lower scoring game. But if Justin Fields is out there running around making plays, I think it's a bad thing for the Patriots. If he's in the pocket and forced to throw the ball, I think it's an advantage and probably what you want from this Patriots defense forcing Fields. So I like this prop here, Cade. Justin Fields under 7.5 rushing attempts. Now it is juiced minus 125, but I think maybe that's kind of a good thing. Tells you we're paying a more expensive price on the under because maybe it's more likely to happen, and there's some smart money here going under. He had 7 against Cleveland. Now he went over this number against Cincy, but prior to that, 4, 7, 7. I mean, he's been right around that 7 or less mark for much of the year, much of the recent calendar year, last couple months, I guess you could say. 7.5 under. He's predicted 5.5. That is a nice little 2 carry advantage between the betting market and what Rithmm is predicting. So, Kate, I saw you nod your head with this one. Is this one that jumps out to you? Do you have any interest in riding the Justin Fields under? I'm liking this Rithmm prediction to say take the under 7.5. Maybe they keep him in the pocket. Lands on 5.5, 6, or even 7. We can cash this thing.
Yeah, same boat. I think he's been a roller coaster all year as is. I mean, God forbid we hasn't broken out in the passing game, but he plays the Cincinnati Bengals and decides to go for 250. Still mad about that. Yeah, I think I agree. In terms of a game plan, I think that this is where Vrabel kind of likes to use his defensive mastermind and pretty much just find his ways to counter mobile quarterbacks such as Justin Fields. Not that he's necessarily dealt with them a ton, but I think that, I mean, he's a I would say he's more defensive minded than an offensive minded coach. So he'd be, I don't want to say easy to figure out. I don't want to say like Justin's bad or anything like that. He's a good quarterback. It's just a weird system that they have him in, of course. I make it at 6. So, and again, if mine and Rithmm agree with it, then that's a play for me usually. So that's kind of where I stand with it.
Yeah, I'm happy to hear you got a 6 there. If you told me you had like 8, 9, I'd be a little worried. But if Mr. Cade Harper, the wise guy's got the under, Rithm's got the under. And check out, I love these graphs that Rithmm gives us. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of his last 8 games, he's gone under this number. So again, not a sexy play. You're going to want Steph Diggs over, Drake May, over. Who's lining up at the board to bet Fields under rushing attempts? It's just, even though he's a starting quarterback, I guess that's debatable, but this is not a play here that you're going to see, of the top 10 most player props here tonight from any sports book. So I think I'm going to ride this one, the Justin Fields under 7.5 rushing attempts. Again, 7 of the last 8 have gone under. Rhythm's predicting 5.5. And the game script kind of alludes to maybe this thing being tight, close, not from a hopefully a scoreboard standpoint if you're on the Jets, but from a game script and how to defend the Jets. So that makes some sense. Let's look at some other games here, Cade, because we gotta get into these divisional dogs. I told you at the outset, and you know this, Cade, divisional dogs bark louder than non-divisional dogs because of that built-in familiarity. Remember, since 2019, divisional dogs covering 53.3% of the time. Since 2019, non-divisional dogs only covering 50.5% of the time. So those divisional dogs are covering nearly a full 3% more often than not. So with that in mind, I just want to throw a few of these games at you, Cade, and we can see where we overlap and where Rithmm is kind of with us. The first one that I wanted to mention was the Texans game, because the Texans are playing the Tennessee Titans, and it seems like it's an easy play. Take the Texans. Titans have had a bad record. They've already fired their coach. Cam Ward, he's got a future here, but hasn't been great his first year. Meanwhile, the Houston Texans coming off that insane win, Cade. Imagine if you had the Jaguars last week. Or were they up by 29 points at one point, or 30 points in the fourth quarter? I mean, number one, condolences to anyone who had Jags. Number two, congrats to anyone who live lined the when they were down big. So again, you've had the Titans lose 4 in a row. They're 1-8 on the year. Houston's 4-5 coming off that insane come from behind win. But if we look at this matchup, the divisional dog would match here with the Tennessee Titans. And the line is moving toward the Titans. The Titans open this game getting around 8 points, 7.5 points. This line is now down to 6. Kate, I see one book at 5.5. This line is clearly moving toward Tennessee. Now, we did just find out CJ Stroud is not going to play, so it's going to be another Davis Mills game. But is this a game where Houston wins but doesn't cover? Like if you look at this last spot with the Titans, I believe they're getting 10 points against the Chargers, lost by 7. So do they lose but cover this number? Also, the Titans are coming off a bye, so that rest versus tired advantage versus the Texans, who had that insane win, but also think, maybe that took something out of them. Maybe this is a letdown spot against a team they can walk all over or think they can. The betting market's telling me lines going to the Titans here, and the Titans are also an incredibly unpopular play. They're only getting around 32% of spread bets at DraftKings, but Rithmm, coming from the top rope, is saying, hey, think about the Titans in this spot. I have 3 Green Star recommended plays. You can get Titans +6. Rithmm says Titans should be +3.6. Rithmm says they should be +3.7. And my third model, +3.4. So all my Rithmm models are telling me it should be around a 3 or 4 point game. We can get a team off a bye. They haven't won a lot, but they've covered a few spots. What do you think here, Cade? Any love for the Titans if you can still get a 6, taking the points of Tennessee?
It's interesting. This is another one that I've tossed and turned around, and ultimately I just pretty much decided that I'm not coming up with a play personally. Right from the get-go, from the opening number, I leaned Texans when they were at full strength. Now, after the CJ news, it's just kind of caused me to go sideways a little bit and just kind of forget about it. It's hard to back Tennessee in any game. And sadly for them, I mean, they haven't won a game at home in over a year now. I mean, their last win at home was against the Pats, and that was November. I'm looking at November the 3rd of last year.
Lost in overtime. I remember that.
So regardless, I mean, you're coming off of a bye week. There's a revenge angle in line. I mean, when you look at week 4, I think they got shut out, and that was in Houston, which obviously much, much different game when you have obviously your full strength quarterback and weapons and everything. Now they're a little bit on the more injury side. It just comes to be like a stay away for me, especially now that it's below the key number. Personally, I would mark it as a stay away for me, but might be one of those games where I look into live to if it gets to a certain number, like if Texans just go out and get a quick score and we get like a 7 or we get an 8 or something like that, and it just jumps up 1 or 2 points. That's all I'm asking for. And then we can take it. And even then, if it gets to be more than like a 2-possession lead, I might still sprinkle a little bit on the Titans there, just because I like these revenge angles. I like these divisional dogs too much to not take them. But below the key, in the current state of mind that they're in right now, I just don't know if I can get it under a touchdown personally.
Yeah, good point by you, because, I'm looking at some of these sharp moves, market indicators. A lot of them were Titans +7. So the importance there is they lose by 7, you push. Right now you get a 6, they lose by 7, you lose the bet. So maybe if this is a game where you put a little pin in it, let's see if maybe it ticks back up. It kind of goes both ways, Cade. Like on the one hand, if it got back up to 7, you'd be like, oh, nice. Now I can get the 7 with Tennessee. But on the other hand, you're like, okay, it went back to 7 because maybe Houston took in some respected money. So in a way, I'd almost like it more if it got down to like 5.5, because that would tell me there's continued movement and really just bites at the apple from the sharps on the Titans and the points here. I will mention too, it is a very low total, so that does bode well for Tennessee as well. This total is like 37.5, 37. Did open around 38.5. Think of it the other way. Maybe Tennessee starts hot. They've done this a couple times. You get out 10-0. Maybe there's a play here where you live line Houston at a better number because they just, again, pulled off that big win. And the Titans, again,
True.
Not a team that's really closed at all this year, Cade. So
just to win, I mean, it might be worth it, but I mean, it's hard to cover that big of a number with a backup on the road, especially. I don't know.
No, I'm with you. Again, Titans, though, to me, that's a hard lean for me. I'd look toward the Titans in this spot. Market's moving in their favor. They're contrarian. Rhythm's got 3 Green Star recommendations here saying to go Titans. Next one I want to throw you right below it, Carolina Panthers, Atlanta Falcons. Once again, we have a divisional dog spot here. Any love for the points here, Cade, with Carolina? We have 2 teams coming in. Carolina's 5-5. The Falcons are 3-6. Falcons have lost 4 in a row, so maybe it is a buy low spot on the Falcons. However, we have seen this line move a little bit or kind of show a a little bit of just liability in favor of the Panthers, who just lost to the Saints, by the way. That's another example of anything can happen in the NFL. I didn't like that, Kate, because I'm on the under 5.5 win total with the Saints. So they've got 2 now, but don't mess around and win too many games here.
Yep.
Down the stretch. We don't want that. But this pretty much opened Atlanta minus 3.5. We really haven't seen it move off of 3.5. It is juiced up at quite a few shops. Like it may get down to 3 because you're getting some plus 3.5s, minus 115s. And the public is going Falcons. They're getting across the market around 60% of tickets. I'm leaning toward the plus 3.5 with Carolina. Maybe this is a game where Falcons win by 3 and you cover by the hook here. But what do you think? We got 3 models here on the Panthers. 2 of them are caution flags, but the one in the middle, Green Star plus 2.6. Just for transparency, the other ones 3.5, 3.4. So those aren't really an edge, but the Green Star play 2.6. You can get a hook on an unpopular divisional dog. Cade, any thoughts on the Panthers taking the points in the division after losing outright in the division as a favorite to the Saints?
I love the spot. Yeah, I know Atlanta's at home, but you're coming home off of an overtime game in Berlin. You got to be walking out of there like a zombie if you were Atlanta. Anybody, period. And yeah, I love the Panthers. There's a reason this number is as short as it is. I don't want to say the Falcons are bad. They've had a lot of bad draws, I would say. I did have them in that Colts game. I probably think they should have won that game, honestly. I have 2, technically 3 bets in this game. I took Panthers plus 3.5. I took them outright. And then I also took the under 42.5. So I'll give a little bit of both. So obviously we have the international angle, but the Panthers have awkwardly had Atlanta's number in terms of covering the spread, not necessarily maybe even winning. They've won 6 of the 11 of the last 11, I should say. 7 of those 11 one-score games. It's a usually close game. It's a usually one-possession game. So road dogs between 3 and 7 points, like you said, they are 56% in the divisional games over the last 20 years. So I just think it's a good spot, regardless of where this game is being played at. I project it as a pick'em, and I like it at the key number 3 or better, if that, because there was a point where I think I saw like a flat 4 for one spot, and then it just immediately it was gone within like an hour, and I was like, yeah. I mean, I already had the 3.5, but quite frankly, I don't think it matters. I think that they win. With Atlanta losing big necessarily to start, and then Carolina, if Carolina won, basically, let's just put it this way. If they won, Atlanta's on a 4-game losing streak, while the Panthers have supposedly won 5 of the last 6. That didn't happen, obviously. So now you have the other angle of playoff race pretty much being probably, I don't want to say like dead, but it's not looking good for either side at that point. They're both really bad losses. So I just like the Panthers in this spot personally. I like them outright. But again, if you're a spread better, just take the key number if you have it. Now for the under. Panthers, like I'll hold my hand up. They caught me. I was a buyer. I like this team a lot. And rightfully so. I mean, they looked really good. And I mean, they had like 4 of the last 5 games before it was the Bills or during the Bills in that stretch. And like they got blown doors off in that game. And I think we had the Panthers in that, if I'm not mistaken, which is really funny. I think I did at least. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I did too. That was Andy Dalton, right? That game?
Yes.
Yeah. Don't remind me. Beat the closing line too. That's the way it goes sometimes.
Right. Yeah, they kind of reminded us exactly what Carolina was. So, and again, you can add in the international angle to this one too. I mean, you have a sluggish team coming back from a really tough traveling spot. You have 2 of the lowest scoring offenses in the league right now. Falcons at 18.7, Panthers at 17.7. Total's at 40. I think at 42 or 43 or one of the two, if I'm not mistaken. Let me check. I have 42.5. So I'm taking the 42 personally. But yeah, technically 3 bets in that one. I played them. I don't want 3 units on this game, but it's just, when I like it that much, I feel like, I don't know. Granted, the money line is to win 1 unit, so I'm not risking 3, but overall, yeah.
No, hey, you got an edge, man. Let it fly. Hey,
Why
that's
not?
the way it goes. But
Why not?
that makes me happier and more confident that you like the Panthers here, because I do too. Divisional dog, Rithmm Green Star recommended plays. Again, smells like a 3-point loss to me. Again, you cover the hook. Obviously, for your money line play, Kate, I'm hoping you win the game outright. So let's go Panthers here. And by the way, I think you might have mentioned it, but they beat Atlanta 30-0 in week 3. Not that is a guarantee it's going to happen again, but maybe some of the advantages from that game you can carry over into this one and keep it close, which would be the goal. All right, another divisional dog, Cade. A team near and dear to your heart. Your Steelers. Or sorry, your Bengals, I should say. My bad. Your Bengals. Bengals at Steelers. Any love for Joe Burrow covering this number? Because if we kind of look at the way the betting market has reacted for this one, it's moved towards Cincinnati. I mean, the Pittsburgh Steelers opened this game. Some shops were as high as -6.5, -6. Public is still leaning toward the Steelers in this spot at home. Although I must say, I played the points there with the Steelers against the Chargers in prime time, and that was maybe the worst, most disgusting sweat I've had in quite a while, Kate, especially with Aaron Rodgers, who could do nothing, and then the whole team is just fumbling the ball at will. So I'm down on the Steelers anyway. They cost me a unit last week. But what do you think about your Bengals in this spot? I mean, the line's moving in their favor. It's a divisional dog. We got 3 system plays. You can get a 5.5. I think you can still get a 6 at some of these shops. Maybe those 6s are gone. I guess it's mostly 5.5. Let's scroll down and see if Rithmm has any books there. Yeah, I guess or Bet Rivers still has a 6. But divisional game, public on the Steelers, but lines going to the Bengals. Bengals have 3 green star plays. Again, the 3.4, the 5, that's a caution flag, and a 2.6. I mean, that is a big discrepancy here between the market and what Rithmm is predicting. So you're the man who knows everything about the Bengals. You brought us good luck earlier in this year. Can the Bengals cover this number, my man? What do you think?
I would love if they can. However, it's not my play in this game because my thinking is that you can't be hurt as bad if you bet on them and if they actually lose your bet. So I have another total.
Nice. What do you got? You got going over?
I took the over. I took the over 49. You guys, this defense is bad. Both of these defenses are really, really, really bad. I think the Bengals team total right now is sitting amongst like 22, which is already like high as is. And it's not pretty. I'm not feeling, I like the angle of, and I get it. A lot of people will have put the revenge angle at home with Tomlin off of a previous loss. I'm pretty sure that's historically a pretty good system to have. Realistically, though, this game is always closer than a touchdown historically, if you do look at it. And at the 5 that it is, it's not that I necessarily didn't feel confident or find value in it. I just thought the better play personally from the get-go was the over personally. I think there is a world where they do make it close. I mean, we've seen it in Cincinnati. I mean, they game planned perfectly. It's just, and we've seen what they didn't do. I mean, the over, what was the final score to that game? I can't remember off the top of my head the last time it was. But I mean, it's practically the same team. I mean, you don't get necessarily anybody in your offense back at that point. I'd love to find it if I had it, but I know it was for sure because I had the under in that game too. And within the second quarter, I was like, well, there's Jalen Warren already had 100 yards in the first half. And yeah, like, we'll chalk it, whatever. It was 33-31. That was the final. So
that's right. Yeah.
Roughly 6. Like that's unbelievable. And now all of a sudden you're downgrading that much. I mean, again, I think any total under 50 for the Cincinnati teams this year, I just take the over, not blindly, but let's be real. Like this deep, it's that bad. The Bengals can keep up offensively. They can score at will. They know, everybody knows that. 33, 38, 42 points last 3 games. I think it's accurately priced. If the public buys in to the Steelers, which honestly I think that it might, if that gets to a 6, I might hop on the Bengals at that point. But until then, I just like buying the over, because after 64 points in the first meeting, and all of a sudden we're going down this far. The Bengals have scored even higher games in their last 2. It's just, I don't understand them that much I don't even call it overreaction. It just doesn't make sense to me on why they're bringing it down that much when we already have one game in of the same exact teams pretty much at full strength. I don't want to say full strength because you don't have Burrow, but you know what I mean.
Well, let me throw this at you, Cade. This might be something to keep an eye out for. So I'm going to give you two stats. One's going to make you happy about your over. One might scare you a little bit. One, you talk about the Bengals over. I literally have a system called Bengals over, and it is 7-2 this year. And since the start of last year, Cade, it's 18-8. They are 18-8, 69% to the over. And again, you might say, oh, that's just Joe Burrow. No, Flacco in there, he's cashing these overs too.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
to the point of don't think about it too much. They score a lot, take the over. There's a lot of reasons to do that. I'm thinking to myself, as you're saying, why is this sub 50 if these in particular Bengals are putting up so many points? Could it be a weather game, Cade? That's one thing you got to look at. Wind direction, wind speed. I'm seeing 15 mile per hour winds right now. Again, maybe that's the reason why it's ticked down a little bit, because to your point, it seems like a clear over, but it opened 50. It's down to 49.5, 49.
Yeah.
One thing I look at a couple different weather sources, but I know you like this one too. I Google Roto Grinders NFL weather.
Good one. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and they're pretty good. And it looks like for this game, winds here should come in around 15 miles per hour sustained, potentially a touch higher, gusts up to 30 miles per hour. That could impact a few longer throws and kicks. So, that's the thing. Is Mother Nature going to blow the wind strong enough to stop Joe Flacco from catching this over? I mean, who'd win in a fight, Ditka or Hurricane, Cade? I don't know. It's got to be Ditka, but
I'd love to see
that's the only thing. That's the only thing keeping me off of this over with you. And the fact that Rithmm is actually saying lean under here. So
I get
again,
it. Yeah.
Pay attention to the weather. Not that it's going to guarantee you a win one way or the other, but just be aware when it's like a 10-7 game in the third quarter, and they show a clip of the the little pieces of fabric on the top of the goalpost whipping, going nuts. That's happened to me, Kate. Like I'm on the over, and they show the flags and they're going nuts. I'm like, why didn't I think of that? So again, just pay attention to the weather there. But I do like the points there with the Bengals. Divisional game, line movement in their favor. Coming off a bye as well. So a little bit of rest first tired. And we have good Rithmm Green Star plays here saying take the points. Now, last one before we get to some college games. There's a lot of great games on the board, but I just want to get your thoughts on the Broncos. Another divisional game here. They're going up against the Kansas City Chiefs, of course. Just when you think the Chiefs are kind of like, getting back into it, then they kind of let you down a little bit. So I don't know. We'll see how the Chiefs can play at this point. I played them at Buffalo. They let me down. Josh Allen rolled at home. But they're coming off a bye, so maybe they are in a get-right spot. Andy Reid off a bye. It's one of those systems you hear about all the time on Twitter. He's been fantastic in this spot. Favorites off a bye in general are covering around 54% of the time. If you're a road favorite off a bye, you're 60% cover rate over the last 2 decades or so. Now, I'm seeing a little bit of movement here toward the Chiefs, Cade, because we did open this game at some shops, 3.5. Some books are at 4 at this point. It's always interesting to me to see how's the public handling this Chiefs team. They're getting 64% of spread bets, 87% of spread dollars at DraftKings, and at Circa, 60% bets, 65% dollars. So you do have low bets, higher dollars, and line movement off a bye system match saying to take the Kansas City Chiefs. Obviously, we've seen the Broncos. They played Vegas, could barely beat Vegas. It was a 10-7 game, had to come back against Houston. I think there's a couple ways you could look at this. One, Broncos haven't played very well, and the Chiefs are rested, and they're going to roll, and the line has moved in their favor. Or not roll, but win by a touchdown or so. Or is this a good spot to buy low on the Broncos? Typically, they're favorites laying numbers. Now you're a dog at home at Mile High in a divisional game. If you're giving me a 4 it's hard for me not to want to take the the
agree.
Broncos at home getting 4. And all
Right.
my plays here, recommended Green Star plays, are on the Broncos. So first one plus 2.4, second one plus 1.6, third one plus 1.6 again. So if you're giving me a 4 divisional game, I know the Chiefs are off a bye. That's been a great spot for them. But is this a game where they win by 3? Again, to me, I'm leaning toward the points in Rhythm, saying take the 3.5 or 4 if you can get it with the Broncos. Cade, what's your thought on this game? Does KC off a bye? Ooh, DraftKings got a 4.5. It's minus
Chiefs need
126.
Don't mind it. Yep.
But not too bad there. But again, what are your thoughts on this one? Do you like the Broncos at home catching points? Doesn't happen very often at Mile High.
This slate hates me. I saw this line and I'm still looking at it. I don't have a point aside yet. And I'm still like tossing and turning because I'm finding angles for Denver. I'm finding angles for KC. What this feels like is Broncos regression from all the luck that it's had and just fading Bo Nix, because at this point, I mean, I don't know if I'm a believer. I don't know what it is. It feels like it's the Chiefs or nothing now that they are just like at their full strength. It feels like not full strength. I don't technically. Broncos could be the most like fraudulent team in the NFL. Like, we don't know. Like, to me, this is a prove it game for them. Honestly, their defense, elite by all means. Everybody knows that. They're phenomenal. Offense, atrocious. They will love to run the ball. They're 19th in offensive DVOA. They're 18th in EPA, 28th in success rate, 19th in yards per play. They average 5 yards per snap. And Bo Nix, he's 25th in EPA plus CPOE composite, which you're behind Spencer Rattler, you're behind Caleb Williams, you're behind Carson Wentz. That's not good. Meanwhile, it does seem like it's a good spot to buy into the Chiefs. Like you said, he's been really good off of a bye. It's hard to fade Kansas City, but here's the thing. There's not a team in this league I love fading more than Kansas City because of how overvalued they always are. Because one, the public loves them. Obviously, the market's going to gradually go toward them because I think they're just overvalued. Ultimately, I might go to a total here again. Like, when all else fails, I don't hate both sides. Because here's the thing, it's like my models, every single one of my models, even like power ratings, even outside of Rhythm and stuff like that, they love Denver to death. Every terms of like data and like insight and power rankings and stuff like that and numbers, Chiefs. So when we're butting heads like this and we're in a divisional game and you're at home in Mile High, got to go to a total. I like the under. Don't have it yet, but after doing multiple circles around this game, I think it's probably what I'm going to have to land on at this point. I think if you have anything above the key number 44, I think you kind of have to. It's just hard for me to back an offense in Denver who isn't necessarily flourishing at this point. Like I think they're talking about giving RJ more carries and getting him more touches. Kansas City isn't exactly very good against the run. And if be honest, I mean, like, I had this game. If this is at Arrowhead, I'd have Kansas City just about at a touchdown, maybe more, if they're at their full strength now. But now that they're coming on the road, like, we're giving Mile High 4 points or maybe 6, maybe I don't whatever it is. Like, that's a big jump. So overall, I like to stay away, but I don't know, man. It's hard for me to back either side there when I have butting heads on both sides. It sucks. Might go for a total, might not. I don't know, but that's kind of where I look at it.
No, I'm kind of with you. I think I have some hesitancy there as well. I'm with you on the under, though. Did open, I think it was 45.5 maybe, down to 45, but now you're 44.5.
Right.
And it kind of makes sense. This Chiefs team, plays good defense. They tend to play these lower scoring games. The public is on the over. Broncos have an awesome defense, but they really haven't been great offensively. So maybe we do get a divisional outdoor under, which you and I both love. Mentioned it does match here tonight with the Patriots and the Jets, but that is 55% this year, 54% since 2017. I think I'm going to take the points here, especially the fact that you can get that plus 4.5, minus 126 at DraftKings. Public's on, obviously, the Chiefs. You're in a little bit of an inflated dog, although it hasn't really moved much. And you're really counting on the good defense of the Denver Broncos at home with a good coach. I mean, what's Sean Payton going to compile or devise a game plan here against KC? So I do like the fact that Rithmm is kind of saying, hey, buy low, or I guess take the Broncos at home with 2 green star plays. So I like those. All right, we got to get out of here soon here, Cade, because I have a few more I want to run by you. Let's just go to the college slate. And I'm hoping that we can overlap on a few of these. So the first one that I wanted to look at was, let me just find it here, Penn State and Michigan State. Now, if we find this game, of course, check out the new revamped page here. You can get all your smart signals immediately. One thing that I like to do, let's just go to the calendar, type in Penn State. Penn State is coming off kind of an impressive game there. You lose to Indiana, best team in the country, national title contender. Again, you had an incredible toe tap that really, won so that game, which probably should have lost the game outright. Yeah, I mean, so give Penn State credit. Their season was kind of going down the drain, fired their coach, quarterback got hurt, but they're still fighting hard and probably should have won against Indiana. But is it a good time to maybe sell a little bit? They're laying a big number on the road. I'm not going to make a case that Michigan State is some great team. They're 3-6 on the year, but they've kind of seen this line move a little bit in their favor. I mean, if you look at a lot of these books right now, they're kind of coming back a little bit toward or kind of staying a little bit steady in favor of Michigan State. Like Penn State opened this game pretty much -7. They're right at 7. Some of these 7.5s got down to 7. My angle is if I can get a 7.5 with Michigan State, I might have to, hold my nose and take the points here. Because when we look at our Rithmm recommendations, both are on Michigan State. Now, this is a caution flag, but it's a 6.1. My other angle here is a green star play, 5.4. So is this a spot where, again, Penn State wins by 6? Maybe they win by 7, you cover with a hook. Kate, if you can get a 7.5, hold out for the hook with Michigan State. Any interest in the Spartans here plus the points?
Absolutely. This is so confusing. My buddy goes to Michigan State, and one of the things, I'm not calling this an angle by any means, please, and for people in the chat, do not flame me, whatever. Michigan State does this thing where they have student tickets where they get to a point where they suck so bad during the year where they allow students to bring a +1 for free, pretty much. So it's not like a homecoming. It's just, I don't know. It's a thing that they do. I don't understand why, but it is what it is. But we talk about the Big Ten pretty much like twice a week and how Michigan State should just fire Jonathan Smith, how this team is a dumpster fire, they're wasting Aiden Childs, blah, blah, blah. Both of these, I mean, both of these teams started 3-0, and you have 6 straight now. You just haven't found a win either. So somebody's got to win this game. Ultimately, why in the world are we all of a sudden giving Penn State a touchdown after putting up just a good fight, quote unquote, to Indiana? That makes 0 sense to me. Absolutely 0 sense, because they've looked like hammered dog crap against everybody else. But God forbid you bring a really good team into a very hostile environment who is pretty much your last shot to just make it a memorable season. And all of a sudden, you know what? They tried their best. Let's give them a touchdown here on their next game on the road. Absolutely not. No. And that was their Super Bowl, right? Like, they're going to give everything that they have into that game. Like, there's no reason that they should have gotten that much. Michigan State's coming off of a bye week, for one. Now, they did lose a very heartbreaking game. Minnesota a couple weeks ago, I believe. That was in overtime. If you guys watched that game, terrible. Robbery, by the way, if you watched it. Best the offense has looked all season long. They benched Aiden. Or I don't know if I think he might have been hurt. I don't know. I'm not sure, actually. He went for 311 yards. 11 yards per attempt. Now, I don't know what the quarterback situation looks like for this game specifically. I think it's kind of being one of those things that's hidden and probably why the line is so high as it is, which kind of, I get it, but I don't get it. You know what I mean? It's very weird. There's no starter named, but I imagine that I think his name's Alessio. It's got a European last name. If I try to pronounce it, I'm going to get kicked off. I'm just rather play it safe. It's one of those, like, he might be related to Jokic. I don't know. Maybe. I'm not going to rule out that Jonathan Smith might sprinkle in a double quarterback system here because we like that Aiden Child uses his legs. You get inside the red zone. You can kind of use these zone read concepts a little bit more. Penn State's defense hasn't been impressed by any means to me personally. The spot is very, it's priced way too high, in my opinion. It's just, if it's over a touchdown, I'm taking against a team that they can come out gassed. They can come out flat. While Michigan State, they have nothing to lose. They're just playing for pride. It's a rivalry game still, and the place should still be a decent, I don't want to say it's going to be a good, crazy atmosphere. It's not a hostile environment, but you make these special occasion games for students. It makes it fun, and they're going to be rowdy. It's not nothing to necessarily just look over. If they get up front early, Penn State might be dead. And if they show enough fight in a season that is just out of control, there's no point. If they're down already in this game, I just can't see them. You know what? Hey, come on, let's push for 4 and 6. No, they don't do that. So a crazy system. Jonathan Smith, head coach, 31-21 against the spread as an underdog, 5-0 this season. Also, he is 10-2 against the spread when he's catching points on extra rest. So keep it in mind. Love it above a touchdown. And as always, I'm telling with these dogs in these kind of spots, I like to sprinkle them outright. There's something about the college football world where it's probably why the units are so inflated, because we've gotten really lucky with some of these home dog wins, but I'll take my chances sprinkling it, but still main play that spread.
And no, great point by you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Plus 220. I mean, hey, crazier things have happened. You got to think too, something. Michigan State. Yeah. Off a bye, rested. Is Penn State going to be deflated after, again, their heart was ripped out? They thought they're going to beat the number 2 team in the country. Michigan State, you got to think rivalry. Let's beat up on Penn State. They've beat up on us quite a bit. And then again, Rithmm is predicting closer to a 5.5 point spread. So I'm with you. You can get 7.5. I think there are a couple books right now. Bet Rivers, FanDuel, DraftKings. Looks like FanDuel's your best number, 7.5 minus 112. I'm with you. And again, why if you're getting nearly 70% of tickets linked with Penn State, has the line really not moved at all? It's pretty much been 7, few books at 7.5. Why isn't it up to 8 or 9? I might put this in right after the show here, Kate. I'm glad you're giving me some more confidence. I like this plus 7.5 with the Spartans. Last one for you. Guy near and dear to my heart. It's Patriots Jets tonight, so we got to talk Bill Belichick. And I want to give Bill Belichick a little bit of credit because I, among everybody in the country, thought that this was a disaster, dumpster fire. He should not have gone back. He shouldn't have gone to college. He shouldn't have joined North Carolina. I remember that TCU game. I had TCU that came through. I'm like, hey, Belichick's going to get rolled. He might not win a game. I got to give him some credit here, Kay, because Belichick is kind of getting this team to fight a little bit.
Yeah.
And I kind of stumbled on this inadvertently because it was a couple weeks ago, and I took the under in the UNC and Syracuse game, and ended up Syracuse lost. UNC won 27-10. But I'm like, man, they kind of are fighting. They don't really have much to play for, but they're playing hard. And if you look at the kind of the trajectory, it was everything's bad about Belichick. You heard about his girlfriend nonstop. All this money, is he going to get bought out? I mean, it was just like, this is a total disaster. He's destroying his legacy. Then look at the last 4 games. They played Cal, covered. They lost 21-18 on the road. They played Virginia, pretty good team, ranked team. They lose by 1. They probably should have won in overtime. The guy stretched his hand out, came up a yard short where they could have won that game. They beat Cuse 27-10. They beat Stanford 20-15. I mean, Belichick has turned this team around. They're fighting hard. maybe they're starting to believe in their head coach here. And if we look at what the betting market has done, North Carolina here in this spot going up against Wake Forest, it really hasn't moved at all. I mean, you open Wake Forest 6-point favorite, 6.5-point favorite. It's still around 6. Kind of a contrarian spot. You're only getting around 40% tickets, but 70% of the money is on North Carolina. Demon Deacons are the better team. They're 6-3. You know, they just beat up on Virginia, or they, kind of edged them 16-9. They got rolled by Florida State the week before. But what do you think, Cade? Can Belichick keep this thing close? The trajectory of this team is they're fighting, they're winning, they're covering numbers. This is kind of a big number in a spot where I'm looking toward taking the points. Again, I'm gonna wait for a 6.5. But if you can get UNC 6.5, Rithmm has them 4.2 and 5.1. I'll defer to you. Last breakdown of the live stream here, Cade. Thoughts on UNC? Are you with me? Do you want to take the points here? I don't know about that winning on the road at Wake, but can Belichick cover this number? I kind of like it.
So, funny story from last week. I had Wake Forest, and the Wake Forest was on the road against Virginia. It was, technically speaking, an upset. Virginia was at home. Wake Forest wins outright. And I was like, oh my God, because I hate Virginia. Like, I was expecting them to lose. Now, the thing that I was looking at, if Wake Forest wins, UNC, they are picking up unbelievable steam all of a sudden at the perfect time. If Wake wins, no matter what that number is, it's UNC, no matter what. And yes, certainly that's what I'm on. I have it at the 6.5. Wake Forest has no offense. They are solely relying on their defense, which has shocked a ton of people. They're top 30 nationally, and their offense, they don't have a passing attack at all. They're rotating quarterbacks. They don't know who to use. And like, without some crazy win against SMU and Virginia, like, you're looking at this team and like, you're like, that's like a 2-win, that's a 2-win swing. Like, you might be 4-5 heading into the final 3 weeks of this year. And for reference, North Carolina outgained Virginia when they lost by 1 inch, like you were saying. Heartbreaking. I hated that. And same thing. If they had multiple fumbles at the goal line, they would be winners of 4 straight, in a large part due to their defense, which has been unreal these last few weeks, really, I would say. If, like, for whatever reason, you look at the what-if scenario, if that changes, if UNC wins those last couple weeks, is this line like roughly 4, a field goal maybe, if that? Like, honestly, like, that's how much like the market influences off of a fumble at the goal line, a 52-yard kick field goal by a college kicker. Like, what are we? No. So anything above the 6, I'm in love with. I liked this team necessarily. I don't know if I'm liking them to win. This is different. That's a little bit of a stretch. I agree. But they can shut down Wake Forest rushing attack if they can at least get their offense going and just make it a dogfight and just keep it close. Without all the flukes and all the luck that Wake Forest has had, I just don't see Wake Forest putting up 21 plus, 24 plus in that kind of matter of sense. Ultimately, it's a beautiful sell high spot. They have a lucky result, and you're technically investing in this UNC defense that is being still undervalued, in my opinion. So look at the total. Power 4 conference matchups, closing totals of less than 40, road dogs of 3 or more, 44 and 28 over the last 20 seasons. So big number, like the spread. Don't really know if I have the guts to maybe do this outright, this one. Might be the one where I kind of pump the brakes on and do a big head check and just say, you know what, just play the spread for once in your life, okay? Just leave it at the 6 that it is. You'll be fine. Ultimately, I think it's what I'm going with. I have the 6.5. If it comes to it, though, I mean, hey, whatever. I'll love it.
No, you really lined that up perfectly, man. I'm with you. Again, team's playing much better. You can get the 6. I'm going to hold out for the 6.5. As you mentioned, we were talking earlier. You were mentioning the Falcons game across the pond. 6.5, they cover the number. 6, they lose in overtime. Thank God, they don't kick the extra point there. That would have crushed us. But yeah, it's a good spot to me to back Belichick, take the points. Again, you're getting about a point right now of discrepancy. 5.1. It's a 6 spread. Let's see if we can get a 6.5 there, but I'll take the points. So wrapping up the show, my man. As always, we got to make our guy happy, Mr. Parker. Let's go through some of our plays that we're looking forward to, and I will just tell you, Kate, I don't know if you've been looking at the live odds page, but the line's creeping back toward the Jets, my man. I'm seeing a lot of 12.5s. A lot of the 13s are gone. There's no 13.5s anymore. I see one book at 11.5, ESPN bet. Maybe that's an outlier, but the line is coming back toward the Jets. So as a Pats fan, perfect spot for me tonight, Cade. Patriots win by 10 points. 24 to 14, something like that. But I am going with the Jets and the points. So that will be fantastic again with our Rithmm recommendation, closer to a 7-point spread. Man, it's gross, but the Titans +6 are intriguing to me. Panthers +3.5, Bengals +5.5, Broncos +4.5. We talked about Michigan State getting the hook on the 7.5, and the fighting Belichick's UNC trying to get a 6.5. So, Cade, take us home. Rattle off a few of your favorite plays here upcoming for tonight and this weekend.
Playing within the first half under tonight, and if that's anywhere above the 21, I like it. I know some were showing like 22. I don't really think it matters that much. As long as it's above the 21, I would personally take it. A couple of the other totals, just because I hate the sides this weekend, and unless if it's the Carolina Panthers, then it's outright. So Carolina +3.5 on the money line, as well as on the under, which is I had 42.5. Bengals Steelers, I had the over 49.5, but might look into a Bengals live play depending on what happens there if I get a better number. And then let me see, we go to College World, and then we had Michigan State +7.5, and yes, UNC +6.5. If that ever touches, of course. So yeah, love it.
Fingers crossed, my man. But yeah, let's have a good week, my friend. As always, thank you all for tuning in and listening. Reminder, we do have our leaderboard contest. We have our Discord channel. Just scroll right below if you want to talk to some other sharp people like yourself who use Rithmm, or refer a friend. Use promo code START25 for 25% off. But Cade, wish you the best of luck, my man. Have a great Thursday night so we can cash some tickets. Any final thoughts, or should we just get out of here?
Let's do it. Yeah, let's just get to it. Got pregame to watch, and I got Christmas decorations to put up. Good God, pray for me.
Whoa! Before Thanksgiving, wow, that's impressive.
I can't win that argument. As I told her, as long as I get the TV, I'm fine. But yeah, you'll catch me in the background with a tree.
You're a smart man, Cade. Make your girl happy.
It's a 50-50 win-win.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You could lose all your bets, but if you put up those damn lights, you're a hero in that house, Cade.
I'll take it,
guys. Great job, Cade, and we'll